On February 21st, 2022, millions of Ukrainians awoke to the sounds of explosions and the somber news that war with Russia was a reality. As millions eventually fled, those with physical disabilities had to rely on the help of aid organizations to map out their best exit strategy. Natasha was one of those people.
Это было очень рано утром. Я проснулась от того, что
So it was early in the morning, and I just woke up, and I hear the sound of bombs. It was very loud, and you can feel it. It was very scary. I started to call all my friends. And everyone told me it's war.
Natasha then called the one friend she knew could help her.
Я позвонила Эду и попросила помощи о том, что нужно куда-то нас, наверное.
I called Ed and asked him for help, and he and his friends really helped us.
И помогли нам очень сильно. Честно, я не хотела даже до самого конца.
I wanted to wait because I don't want to leave Ukraine. But Ed told me that, Natasha, if you really want to change your life, here is your chance.
Поменять свою жизнь.
Natasha's friendship with Ed Dickson began many years ago when she was a young girl in an orphanage. What were conditions like at the orphanage when you were growing up there?
It was different. We told ourselves that no one needs us. We want to spend time with people, but they don't want to. Of course, there were some days people came to visit us trying to help, but after they left, they forgot about us. They were not interested in our lives. They just brought some presents, and that's all.
So Ed, tell me about the day that you met Natasha for the first time in 1996.
Meeting her was, in the beginning, when you see someone, they have no use of their arms and legs, and she was being pulled around with a rope on a little platform. It's devastating, and she was abandoned by her parents. Her parents just didn't want her because of her special needs, and we found out that the neighbors around that orphanage, there were apartment buildings there, and they could see, all these children with special needs, and they called it the place that God forgot. I'll never forget, I looked up into the sky, and I'm just kind of asking God, what is going on? Like, why would you allow something like this? And all of a sudden I saw this like a raindrop that just came down, and it just hit me right on my face as I was standing there. And suddenly I realized it was almost like a teardrop had fallen from God's eyes. And I realized that God wanted to change that place. It was his desire to completely change that orphanage and change the lives of those children. And that was everything for me. It changed my life.
For Ed, it meant dedicating his life to meeting the practical needs of those less fortunate in Ukraine through a ministry he started called Loads of Love. For Natasha, it meant finding her purpose in life.
So we told her, you did not come to this earth from your parents. You came through your parents, from God. God sent you here. And if God sent you here, he has a purpose and a plan for your life. Even though it was difficult for us at the time, to see that, we just genuinely believed that God has a plan for every person, no matter what their situation.
Natasha soon discovered her purpose after being introduced to art at the orphanage.
Когда я начала рисовать, я сказала себе сразу, что
When I started drawing, I thought that I need to do this because it will lead to my successful future.
We started to see what she was painting, and it was like what? Like I could not do that with my hands, with my fingers, with a brush in my hands, like she was doing And we realized that, you know, God had given her a special gift.
Ну, во-первых, это для меня
It gives me self-confidence that my art can allow people to see kindness and love.
в мир
I'm proud of myself.
любовь, счастье.
Бесконечность.
Представляете, делаю бесконечность. Да, это
да?
Now, you've known Natasha since she was 10. What kind of changes have you seen in her over the years?
Phenomenal changes. I think if even myself, you know, she would very often say to me, like she said, even just before the war started, she said, I'm going to be in North America in a beautiful apartment. And I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how that would happen. Like inside, I'm thinking like, there's probably not a big chance of that happening in your life. But I want to believe what you believe. I want to believe that God could do anything. So I would always be like, wow, you're just amazing.
Natasha's incredible dream of living in a beautiful apartment in North America started to come true once she made the hard decision to leave Ukraine.
We heard that the Canadian government was opening the doors to Ukrainians coming in. So if you think about all the logistics of that, it's pretty, it just becomes really difficult to plan all those things and think about where are these kids going to live, where, you know, how are they going to work, how are they going to survive, all those things. But that strong faith in her allowed me to believe that maybe God would take care of everything. When they came to Canada,
One of Ed's first calls for help was to his good friend, Pastor Tim Gibb.
So I'm actually in my office, sitting at my computer, typing an email out to a whole list of potential host homes and city leaders, just anticipating some of the Ukrainians that are coming. And as I'm writing that email, I receive an email from Ed Dickson. And he says to his network, hey, he put it out to all his friends in Canada, hey, I have this young lady. She has a real challenge physically with her disability. But if anybody knows anyone that could receive her, you know, please, we're looking for some help for her to come to Canada. I added it to my email, put it out there. And sure, within 24 hours, I get a call from Vision Nursing Home that actually recently just constructed a brand new apartment building. And they said, we saw your email. We want to receive Natasha. We have all the supports that she'll need. We'll give her an apartment free for a whole year. And we'd love to receive her. And so I said, great. We booked the flight, and like 4 days later, she was here in Sarnia. Like, I mean, within a week, it all fell into place. It was actually miraculous.
Well, Natasha has had many miracles in her life, and her faith in God has grown. It wasn't always that way, especially as a child.
Я обижалась на Бога.
I resented God and hated him because people who were around me told me you're a loser. You can't do anything. But when I met Ed, I made small steps, and I saw that God makes big miracles for everyone. And I thought, wow, he's really good. I know what I need, and I asked God, and he has given me everything that I've asked him for.
I really feel just extremely thankful that I'm a part of her life because she inspires me. I think she inspires me and helps me way more than I help her.
Вижу цели, не вижу.
I see goals, but I don't see barriers.
Когда ты начинаешь...
When you start to think, oh, maybe I can't do that. No, you can. You need to believe that you can do that. You need to believe God and that you can trust in him. And everything will be good.